What would be the difference between intelligence and rationality?
Okay, so there's various kinds of intelligence. So you wouldn't accuse a cat of being rational, but a cat could be pretty intelligent. In particular, when you talk about rationality, you typically mean logical reasoning. And that's very different from the way we do most things, which is intuitive reasoning. So a nice analogy would be if you take something like AlphaZero that plays chess. I'll use chess because I understand it better than Go. It'll have something that can evaluate a board position and say, how good is that for me? It'll have something that can look at a board position and say, what's a plausible move for me? And then it'll have what's called Monte Carlo rollout, where it's, if I go here and he goes there and I go here and oh dear, that's bad. The Monte Carlo rollout is like reasoning. The neural nets that just say, that would be a good move, or this is a bad position for me. They're like intuitive reasoning. And we do most things by intuitive reasoning. Originally in AI, they wanted to do everything by using reasoning, logical reasoning, and that was a huge mistake and they couldn't get things done. They didn't have a way of dealing with things like analogy. What neural nets are good at is intuitive reasoning. So what's happened in the last 20 years is we've used neural nets to model human intuition rather than human reasoning, and we've got much further that way.
Is it the case that the more intelligent you are, the more moral you are?
I read something about that recently that suggested it was. But of course, I don't know the provenance of that, so I don't know whether to believe it. I'm not convinced that's true. Here's some evidence. Elon Musk is clearly very intelligent. I wouldn't accuse him of being very moral.
And you can be extremely moral and not terribly intelligent?
I think so, yes. That's my guess.
Well, you said that you weren't entirely sure, so what's the evidence to the contrary? What's the evidence that as you increase in intelligence, your morality increases proportionally somehow?
Well, I mean, I just have no idea whether there's a correlation at all.
I see.
I think there's highly intelligent people who are very bad, and there's highly intelligent people who are very good.
What does it mean to understand?
Okay. That's a question I'm happy to answer. So, again, I think most people have a wrong model of what understanding is. If you look at these large language models, there's many people, particularly people who from the Chomsky School of Linguistics, who say they don't really understand what they're saying. They just are using statistical correlations to predict the next word. If you look at the first models like that, I think I probably made the very first language model that used backpropagation to train the weights to predict the next word. So you backpropagate the error in predicting the next word. And the point of the model was to show how you could learn meanings for words, or to put it another way, to show how you could take a string of words and learn to convert the words into feature vectors